Yes guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Toon Tuesdays, your weekly roundup of Newcastle United news. As always, there is plenty to get through today. 3 games in a week for Newcastle United and loads of stuff going on off the pitch as well. I know you guys, or a lot of you guys, watch my Toon Tuesdays every week, but still haven't hit that subscribe button. If that's you, or if you're new to the channel, be sure to scroll down and hit that big red button. It really helps the channel, and it means you guys will be notified every time I post a video. We are on the daily upload at the moment, and as I say, Toon Tuesdays every week, so be sure not to miss out. Some great news for Bruno Guimarães, who many of you FIFA fans will know was not too happy with his rating of 81 in the game, but following his fantastic performances on the pitch for Newcastle, has now been rewarded with a Team of the Week card, which ups his rating. And the reason I mention this, to be honest, is because he was photoed, celebrating the fact that he got his Team of the Week card, and interestingly, was wearing a number 2 on his training top. He was wearing Trippier's training top when he was announced with his Team of the Week card. Trippier commented on that video asking, "Why are you wearing my top?" Which Bruno replied, "Because I'm a massive fan. I'm a massive fan. That's why I'm wearing your top." I think the chances are he couldn't find his own and grabbed whatever was nearest. But it was great to see that little back and forward there, and a bit of sense of humour from both of them. So well done to Bruno on his card. But mostly I was just laughing at the back and forth between these two on social media. And speaking of people wearing a different shirt, Newcastle released a new 5th kit, 6th kit, I don't even know, but I did go and buy it. There it is, the shirt with your grandma's curtains on. I like it. I understand that some people are unhappy that a new shirt has been released. I actually had a comment from one of you guys that said, "I've ordered the new shirt that came a day later, but I'm still waiting on stuff that I ordered a month ago to arrive." And it's not good. It's Cousteau. It's something that we're going to get onto in a moment, the sponsorships and so on. But I get that side of it. People are unhappy that they have ordered stuff's not been sent correctly, with badges missing and whatever, but we're still announcing a new top. On the complete flip side of that, I just like the look of it. I liked it. I thought it was good. It does look a bit out there, a bit edgy, if you will, but I thought it was cool, so I got it. But I do get the other side of that, and it is an odd one, because I thought it was another retro top. You'll remember we did a retro top last year, which was black and white with the collar, and it was kind of like a one-off. Strangely, and I keep getting it back, this top, there is a match version as well. You can spend, this was 65 quid, which, maybe I'm just getting older and stingier, but I thought that was quite a lot for a top. But that's just the way it is now, I think. But you can also buy a £106 version of the top, which is the match top. So I half thought that we might have worn it against Manchester United, but it is suggesting that we could well wear it at some point. So if you've not let me know already, let me know your thoughts on the shirt down below. And I wanted to throw this into the video as well. You might remember a couple of weeks ago I mentioned that a local primary school, St Joseph's, was doing a raffle. They wrote into Newcastle and asked that the players could send them some self-portraits that they would sign. We had a one for John Joe Shelby the other week. You go on, I think the tickets are £1 or £2 maybe. I'll leave the link down below. The newest one that they are raffling is Dan Burns. So Dan Burn has actually drawn a picture of himself, signed it. I think it says "How are the lads" on there, like as a speech bubble. It's a bit of fun, and it's raising money for a local primary school. But I think it's great that the club are getting involved with that they can take the mick out of themselves, really, because they're all stick drawings. None of them are professional artists. It's something that if you ask me to draw a picture, I don't think I'd do much better, to be honest. So I think it's a bit of fun, it's a good laugh, and it's raising money for a good cause. And if you wanted to get that, or go in for that, to get as, a present for a friend as a joke, or even, get it framed, I think it would look good, in a shop or a barber's or something like that, just to kind of say that you got that. I think is cool. So that's that. And I also wanted to throw in a little bit of news about a player that we signed not too long ago, Garang Kuol, the youngster, the wonder kid, the man that Xavi called incredible, the Australian player who Newcastle have already signed, but is set to join up with the club on the 1st of January. It's actually expected that he will go on loan when he does get here. I don't think he'll be linking up with the squad straight away, although I will be interested to see that when he gets back from his loan, whether he would go under 21 or if we should just get him involved. To be honest, we're talking about the injury issues that we're having at the moment. He doesn't even have to be in the squad. He's young enough that we wouldn't have to register him. He'd be like an Elliot Anderson. We could have him to throw in at any time, but would he be better for development if we sent him out? Probably. But anyway, he played for Australia under-20s over the last week and scored himself a goal. I think they actually won the game 4-1 in the end, and his goal was quite special. Down the right-hand side, thumps it. I think it was the opening goal he scored. So well done to him. Look forward to seeing him in a black and white shirt very soon. Although we have seen him in a black and white shirt when he was with the away fans in the way end for the Fulham game. But look forward to seeing him arrive at Newcastle properly. And speaking of new players joining the club, Newcastle United announced last night our newest signing. The 19-year-old talent Amadou Diallo has now put pen to paper and will stay with the under-21s until the rest of the season. A little bit different this one, unlike Garang Kuol, who we went out and bought, unlike MacArthur, who we went out and bought from Kilmarnock earlier in the season. Amadou actually joined already. Technically, he came in and did a trial with the club, but has now officially signed and will stay with the under-21s until the end of the season. I believe he had previously been at the West Ham Academy, has had some time with England as well. Has joined Newcastle. Steve Harper spoke about how he's very excited for him to be involved, and fingers crossed he will do a good job for the rest of the season with the under-21s, and we could potentially see him signing a longer term contract. I believe he plays out on the left hand side, and we can always use some wingers at the minute. So let's hope they fast track his development and we can see him involved with the squad very soon. It's great to see that even when it is, a young, we haven't gone out and bought him like we have with other players, but even when we've brought him in, as a youngster on a trial, he's signed with the club. Newcastle are announcing it it's a big thing. Everything's big now. Let's be excited about it. Let's not, oh great, we've signed him, all right, going under 21s. No, we are announcing it. We're excited for it, and hopefully we can see him do well for the rest of this season, and we'll see more of him in the future. Darren Eales has been a huge topic of conversation over the last week as the Newcastle CEO appeared on BBC Radio Newcastle for a 1-hour interview, which was fantastic, by the way. If you've not listened to it yet, be sure to go and find it after this video finishes. It was great to have a senior figure at Newcastle come on to, the local radio station and just talk so openly, so honestly about what he and the club want to achieve, do next, and it was great to listen to be honest. He raised some really good points, one of which was they want to have the fans fully involved in decisions, the journey, and just go on the ride together of what will be happening with Newcastle over the next few years. A part of that, he mentioned obviously sponsorships and deals, which I will come on to more in a moment, but one of the big ones that has caught the attention of a lot of people is the conversation over the stadium naming rights, and that Darren Eales has said they are looking at that as an option to increase, the revenue of the club. The positive thing is, for me, that he said it will not be a full name change. It will not be Sports Direct Arena or whatever. It will not be that. It will be St James's Park powered by something at St James's Park, and a lot of fans are quite on board with this. It is a chance to bring in a lot of revenue. It will still be St James's Park, but it's a chance to bring in 40, 50 million more pounds a year to spend on a player, or spend here or spend there. For me, I am not fully on board with it. I will go with the flow. If that's what happens, you know, as much as they will ask the fan their opinion, they're going to do what they think's right as well. I think it'll be a mixed match of what they think's right and trying to still keep the fans their hopes together as well. For me, I would like us to explore every other commercial opportunity before we change the name of the stadium. It will still be St James's Park, and if it does happen, as I say, I will go with the flow. It is because, and the difference is, and I mentioned this in the previous video, they're not just changing it to fill their back pockets, they're changing it because they want to spend the money on, as I say, a new player every year, something else every year, wages every year. It will be going back to the fans, it will be for the club, and because of that, you know, I'll run with it. But I am still in the boat that I would prefer it to not be. But we'll wait and see. He also spoke about stadium development as well, the training ground, loads of really good stuff in there, and it's all pointing in one direction and it's up. You know, it's all pointing in a great way. So to have him on and do that talk was incredible. As I say, they are quite literally looking at options to extend the stadium. I am hoping to do a separate video about stadium extensions. I'm hoping to do a video about fan zones and having fans involved. Darren Eales spoke quite heavily on wanting to really, you know, get involved with the fans. He even spoke about doing like bar crawls. He spoke about having a Newcastle TV channel to try and have more people involved, to try and have more overseas fans feel more engaged to the club. Loads of good stuff on that I do plan on doing separate videos on. So be sure to subscribe. Yeah, great stuff from Darren Eales, and I hope to cover a lot more of it very soon. And as we talk about sponsorships, and as Darren Eales talks about the hope to bring in new, big, major sponsorship deals, the club has taken a huge step in the right direction, as it was announced last night that Peter Silverstone will be the club's new Chief Commercial Officer. This guy comes in with a wealth of experience in the commercial revenue department. He spent 7 years at Arsenal, where he spent the majority of his time as the Chief Commercial Officer. He brought in a number of major commercial deals at Arsenal, one of which, and Newcastle actually included this within their announcement of Peter Silverstone, saying that during his tenure at Arsenal, Peter led several successful commercial initiatives, including the onboarding and development of the Adidas partnership. Newcastle have they hinted there? Probably not, but it is not a big stretch to say that this guy has worked with Adidas for a number of years. We've now brought him in. We've specifically mentioned it within our announcement of Peter Silverstone. Could that be a route that we look down? I think so. I think that we all know that Castor has not been the best. And as we look to really ramp up on these deals, Adidas, Nike, you know, these are the big dogs, and I think that is where we will be looking to next. Funnily enough, I wouldn't say cynical, maybe with just a close eye, he actually left Arsenal and went to OneFootball. If you've heard of that, it is a popular app on your phone. He went there for 6 months. Do you remember when Dan Ashworth had to go on garden leave for 6 months because he wasn't allowed to go from one rival club to the other? And Peter Silverstone just happens to leave Arsenal after 7 years and then have 6 months at a non-competing company. It sounds like we've had our eyes on this guy for quite a long time, and we've purposely asked him to leave, go sit somewhere else for a bit. We'll bring you in after that. But regardless, he's in now. He brings a whole lot to Newcastle United. He said that he's delighted and honoured to join Newcastle United as the club embarks on its exciting journey to build a sustainable, leading Premier League and European club. And as I've mentioned, and as Darren Eales has mentioned himself, the club want to take that next step now. And as the owners have said, you know, as Murdad, Amanda, Yas has said, We want to take that next step over this 5 to 10 year programme to be competing for Premier League football, which, to be honest, even though all of this is going on, still just feels like a distant dream. And same with getting into European football, which at the moment looks possible, which is incredible. But bringing this guy in to help secure some of these commercial deals is going to help so much. I've already mentioned the shirt sponsor. That is a huge part. I have no idea what Castore are paying us, but I know for a fact that people like Adidas, like Nike, like companies he's worked with previously at Arsenal will add a whole lot more to that. You talk about Fun 88 on the front of our shirts at the moment. It's understood that Noon are paying us more than Fun 88 are. And that is because we didn't have a guy like this bringing in, securing and, officiating over these major deals. I've no doubt that the stadium name will probably be something that he will be looking at as well. But the club are clearly working on that. We've seen different names popping up like Dr. Cynic. Those are little deals that we're trying to get in. I say little. Multi-million pound deals, I've no doubt. But this guy is the man to come in and really try and ramp that up now. You talk about commercial, people in their jobs at the club. And I've mentioned this before. It's understood that Chelsea, Manchester United, those kind of guys have got 200 to 300 people working in their commercial department. It's understood that we've got a handful. If I'm not mistaken, Peter will be the 5th person to join our commercial revenue team. So he is going to be at the forefront of that. He is going to be working on that. And as I say, have the club hinted? People are saying that they have. I will sit on the fence for that one. But it is still very interesting that we've seen it with Dan Ashworth. Dan Ashworth came in. What does he do? Straight away, he looks to stuff that worked at his previous role. We're being linked with Trossard from Brighton already because it's players, it's youngsters, it's people that we've brought in. It's understood that he was following Garang Kuol while he was at Brighton. He's come here and he's brought him in. To say that Peter Silverstone won't have his eye on other commercial partners that he has worked with in the past, that he has contacts with, that he knows he can work with well again, that is not a stretch for me. That is something that's very real and would not surprise me whatsoever. Now, as a huge Newcastle fan and someone who is a huge fan of the old school shirts, this is the wrong kit, but to have Adidas on the front of our shirts again would be so much better. It would be fantastic. So let me know your thoughts on that specifically. Let me know your thoughts on Peter Silverstone's coming in. It's big. It's something that I don't think is going to happen overnight. We will have to take a bit of time and wait. I think Castore still is reportedly still has till 2024. Can Peter work out an agreement to have it changed in the summer? I hope so. Alright guys, thanks for watching. As always, drop a like and subscribe if you have enjoyed this week's Toon Tuesdays. As I say, I do this video every Tuesday. We go through all of the news of Newcastle on and off the pitch. And as I say, loads of you guys watch every week. If you're still watching right now, I think this must be 20 minutes later at least. Hit that subscribe button, it really helps. Alright guys, have a great week. Enjoy both of the games Newcastle have this week. And I'll catch you later.